Hi, my name is Peter McLaughlin, founder of the Builder's License class. We have been in business for the past 17 years teaching CSL Prep and OSHA 10 certification and continuing ed for construction supervisors here in Massachusetts. What I would like to talk about today in this short video is the Massachusetts Construction Supervisors Exam application and a little bit about the test itself. The test is a 75 question timed exam, 3 hours, which turns out roughly a little more than 2 minutes per question. The passing grade on the exam is 70%, which means you have to get 53 questions correct. It also means you can get 22 questions wrong, and that's really important to understand. And remember that no one question is more important than another, so do not spend more than a couple of minutes on a question. If you are stumped, you don't know where to go, you don't know what book to look in, those are the types of questions that you're going to skip. That's a very large margin, 22 questions, so you don't have to be perfect. 70% is the passing grade. Now, after teaching this course for the last 17 years, one of the biggest problems is the application. For some reason, people have a hard time filling out this application and what to do. So I'm just going to go over some of the basic principles on filling out this application and then scheduling and taking your exam. And hopefully, by the end of this, you'll have a better understanding on how to do that. In order to find the exam, the first thing you have to do is, if you go to my website, which is masscodeprep.com, you can see it right up here, and you're going to go to the tab that says Current Students. When you hit the tab, a new window will pop up, and this is all information that I have for the students that are taking my current class to pass the exam. All their online exams and their homework and stuff like that. But under the last piece of information here is information booklet and application for the exam. You just click download, and what will happen is a new window will pop up, and that will take you to Prometric's website. Prometric is the testing agency. They are the ones that will administer and grade your exam. They're not located in Massachusetts, but they have plenty of testing facilities here in Massachusetts. I know there's over 30 of them, and they're located throughout the state. And one of the questions I always get is, where can I take the exam? And it all depends on where you live. Wherever you live, when you set up your exam, they will tell you the closest exam facility closest to your home, so it makes it more convenient. Or you might want to do it closer to your work. It's all up to you. Okay, so once you get on the Prometric site, you're going to see this Download Now button right on the right hand side, mid-page. You click that and a PDF will come up, and that PDF is actually your exam. That's not your exam, that's your exam application. And that application is really, really important. This is what you need to read through and fill out to take the test. Now, the first thing I want you to do is print this application. It's very important that you print it for reasons that I'll show you later, but I need you to have this when you go take your exam. There's a lot of really good information on this booklet. Scrolling down, it's a 17-page booklet, and you'll see that there's there's all kinds of information on where to the categories of the types of tests. And the first thing it talks about is the unrestricted or restricted, or you can get a license just for siding or roofing. And the class that I teach, and I think the only one that's worth teaching, is the top exam. That is the unrestricted CSL, and it is the most current and highest license the state gives. You don't want a restricted license, and the reason for that is, let's say you're working on a home, it's a two-family, you do a two-story porch over, you do a really nice job, And the next door neighbor happens to have the same problem. He wants his porches ripped down and new ones built, and it's a nice job, and you go to pull the permit and you find out it's a 3-family house. The 3-family house, you wouldn't be able to pull the permit. The highest license is not just a commercial license. It's everything other than a 1 or a 2 family. The restricted is for just 1 and 2 families only. That's it. So you want to make sure you're taking the right exam. Scrolling down, you'll see there's information about pre-exam requirements. There's information on registering for the exam. This is all stuff I want you to read. Scheduling the exam, you can do it by phone or online. Another really important thing is the top of page 7 talks about what references you can bring in and what's okay to do and what's not okay to do when it comes to writing in your book, highlighting, tabbing, and all that stuff. And the main focus for my class is indexing and writing and making sure your index is designed so you can find things quickly. It is an open book exam, and the most important thing is for you to be able to obtain the information to get to the answer that they're giving you. And if you don't have a sufficient index, you're not going to be able to do that, so you have to write in your book. And I took my exam a while ago, and one of the lady proctors told me that I could not write in my book, and she wasn't going to allow me to take the test. But I had made a copy of this application, and on the top of page 7, right up top, it definitely says, right under references, only approved references are allowed. Highlighting, tabs, and written notes in the references are permitted prior to arriving to the test. So prior to, you can write, you can note it, and you can tab it and do highlighting. But during the exam, you can't. During the exam, you can't write in the book, but as long as you do it before, you're all set. And again, really good information to have. One of the things I find funny is up here, weapons. It says you can't bring any firearms, so just in case you were planning on doing that. But all the way down the end, the last 3 pages is your exam. And we'll get to that in a second. Give you some test questions. Okay, so here we are, registering for the exam. Really simple. Under 1 is your candidate information. Candidate information, your last name, first name, mailing address, city, social, date, email address. You can see that it's mandatory. Email address is mandatory. And then you keep scrolling down and you'll see under 2, license exam for which you are applying. It's really important. Unrestricted. CSL unrestricted, top left. Highest license the state gives, that's the one you're going to be studying for if you choose to come to a class like mine. We also, if you're interested, we do a lot of take-home practice prep classes where you will take, we'll sell you your books in all our documentation and all our paperwork. Also, you will be given permission to take the exams online. One of the most interesting things that we do as a school is I think we're the only class that sends you out links to take exams online exactly the same way you're going to take your real test on that computer. So if you study and you're taking your practice exams just in the same atmosphere as you're taking your real test, it's going to become less intimidating. You're going to get used to the computer, used to looking at the screen and going to your book. And there's no better way to learn than to learn in the same environment as you're going to be tested on. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to figure out 3 years of experience. And that's 3-4. That's 3 and 4. And this vocational school attended, or college, if applicable. If you have 15 years experience and you also have a degree in construction management, there is no reason why you should use and fill out number 3 to tell them that you have a degree. It's not it wouldn't help you, so you just leave it blank and give them your work experience. The only thing that the vocational school or college is good for is the student or the applicant who only has 1 or 2 years experience and they have a degree. That degree would give them 2 years worth of experience if they have a bachelor's degree in the construction field. So if you have plenty of time, you don't need to use it. If you need the time, then you'll fill out number 3. Work experience. There's 2 ways to fill out your work experience. One is you write to prove your work experience. You would have a letter written by a construction supervisor, an architect, an engineer, a building official, or a personnel director at your work. And the letter would state that you've worked for the company, or this particular person, or this particular person has, you've worked with him as a subcontractor, whatever the case may be, for the past 3 years, minimum 3 years of experience. You might need to do 2 of these if you have to. And that letter would have to be notarized. That's the letter of attestation. That's the first way to prove your 3 years. The second way is 3 years of W-2s, of your W-2 taxes. So one is the letter, the other is the W-2. It's one or the other. You don't have to do both. So filling out number 3, you'll see I have had at least 3 years of building construction or design in the field I wish to be licensed. You click yes, and then the name of the employer. If you're self-employed, don't write self-employed, write the name of your company. Employer, address, city, state, and then list each of your hands-on duties. Now your hands-on duties are not built a house, and they're not I'm the president. Hands-on duties are framing, formwork, roofing, siding, tiling, foundation, kitchen layout, design, floor joists, specking out floor joists, construction estimating and scheduling. Whatever it is, those are hands-on duties. So be careful to make sure you write. If you've done everything, what I always tell people, put down the example. Framing, roofing, and formwork, and that's it. Call it a day. Don't make this more complicated than it is. Now you go down, and you can see you have to answer yes or no. Yes being you attach the letter of attestation, notarized, or no, you're not able to get a letter, but you're giving them the W-2. One or the other. Very, very simple. This is the back page now. Payment. Payment's $100, and it's either done by credit card or company check or money order. No cash and no personal check. Again, no cash, no personal check. Only company check, credit card, or money order. That's it. And if you're going to do a credit card, I'll show you where you're going to put that information. Now, once you get through all that, you're going to notarize this. Go to a notary before you sign it, so he or she can notarize it for you. It tells up here that you told the truth. You print your name, date it, and then sign it in front of the notary. Next is the release. So you're going to give them an attached photo, a passport photo, 2x2. Basically, You put it on with clear tape, and that's done. If you happen to have a Massachusetts license, all you have to do is sign where it says MA, Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicle photo release signature. You sign that, and they will use the license that is already on file, the picture that's on that license for this application. So you don't have to put the picture if you have a valid Mass license. Okay, now you're done. The rest is just making a copy of it. You know, it tells you recommended for you to make a copy. It's going to be returned if it's unsigned, not notarized. Remember, if you're using that letter, you would have two things notarized: the letter and this application. If you're sending it in with taxes, then your application needs to be notarized, but the taxes do not. Where are you going to send it? Right below. Right here where it says, right there, Prometric Construction Supervisors Program, and in Maryland somewhere. And if you're going to pay with a credit card, they give you application payment by credit card, and you just fill that out. Hopefully, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And when you send it in, you wait 10 days. And it's important for you to understand that. You wait 10 days, and then you call them. We teach over 600 students a year, and it never fails that 10 or 20 of them will call me 3 months after they send their application in and say, Peter, I haven't heard from them. And you know what? It could be 30 years you're not going to hear from them. You have to call them. Wait the 10 days. You call them and say, this is Joe the contractor. I want to take, you have my paperwork. They'll ask you, for some information. They'll look you up. Say, okay, Joe, when do you want to take the test? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These are the openings we have. Where do you live? Oh, okay, we happen to have a spot right around the corner from you. And these are the dates that are open. And it's 8 to 5 at night, 8 in the morning till 5 at night. And you make your own schedule, and you take the test. Now, hopefully, you've done some preparing for the exam. If you haven't, we would really love to have you come to our class. Go to the website. We teach here in Medford, Mass. Or, like I said, we do have take-home prep courses that we can send you out the books and all your homework and all your practice exams and some other DVDs and videos that we take on certain subjects that are a little bit complicated that I really need to teach. So you could listen to a video of me teaching about AAB rules and regs, the Handicap Access Board, and when it applies and when it doesn't, or the energy code or stuff like that. So it's a really good take-home package. And guys, I've never heard of anyone not being able to pass if they do the work. You just have to do the work and you'll be able to pass. And it does require some work. There are 6 books. There's 6 books, there's 5 different subjects, there's a set of drawings that you have to do plan review. It's not an easy exam, but if you do the work, it is. Trust me. Again, my name is Peter McLaughlin. I really appreciate you coming to check this out. If it was helpful to you, do us a favor and like it for us. And let us send a comment. Comments are great. We love to hear them. And if you're interested in taking a class, give us a call, 781-395-3050, or just go to masscodeprep.com. Thank you very much, and thanks for the time. Have a great day.